Hi, hello, official welcome to Saturday morning cartoons with the Doodle Crew. Yay, Doodle Crew hype. I'm super excited. Saturday morning cartoons are becoming one of my favorite things that we do. Because again, I just get to draw cartoons that I really like. So that's awesome. So today's episode, we are going to specifically cover cartoons that were either adapted or created or really pushed into the market to sell some toys. So we are engaging in the capitalism machine and so much of our nostalgia childhood. And again, I think we'll probably get into a whole bunch of the nostalgia about it. But let's go around, let's introduce people, and let the audience know which cartoons you're going to be doing. And also, I want to put a preface in. We have to be nice to Sarah because Sarah has very little voice, so we're going to try not to make her talk too much. But we're going to start with you.
Okay. I'm Sarah, and this time I'm doing ponies. They're a big part of my childhood, so I'm doing a homage to Rescue to Nightmare Castle, which was one of the made-for-TV movies. And I inserted New Twilight, New Applejack, and Rarity. Rarity was the only one of the three that isn't in the original movie.
Nice. All right. I like it. Yes. So if you want to see more of Sarah, make sure you follow her on her Tumblr. Also, she's got her main website there. She's putting out a whole bunch of comics. And because of the panel I just saw released, some big things happening in one of the comics. I saw somebody get very hurt. So make sure you catch up on that. So Idaho, who are you? Where can people find you? And which cartoon are you doing?
Hi, I'm Idaho. I'm Lithopossum. You can find me on Instagram. And I am doing Thundercats because that was my obsession back in the 80s, the toys and the stickers. And I recently learned about the new... This is one that's been remade back in 2011. I really enjoyed that remake. I was sad to see it come to an end before its conclusion. But I noticed just recently, while I was doing some research here, that there is a remake that happened last year, and though I like the art style, I don't think it's entirely appropriate. But it's like a Gravity Falls kind of look to it. I don't know who the artist is. Much.
Yes, yeah. I did see that. Honestly, I thought it was just fan art. Oh, look at the sweet baby.
Yeah, I got that one. Oh, he's packed away.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, that style is so cool. But I'm going to try to do this in a different style today.
Nice.
Not easily, but you'll see once I get started what I'm going for.
I like that you have the toys readily available, Sarah. That makes me very happy. Oh my God, so good. Yeah, so one of the ones I was considering doing was not one that I watched the show of. But it was one that I had a lot of toys of, and I was like, oh, I could do that. But all right, so Randall, who are you and which cartoon are you doing?
So I am Randall. You probably don't want to find me. In fact, I usually don't want you to find me, so I hide in my room playing video games. When I'm not doing that, I'm working on art, and today I decided to go with Mega Man, because Mega Man has hella merch. In fact, I was just looking at action figures last night and seriously debated buying a $225 action figure. But instead, I was a good boy and I bought the $31 art book instead. So there have been numerous versions of Mega Man over the years. And I decided to do the most recent one that's not Mighty Number 9 because we don't acknowledge him. And this is from Mega Man Star Force. And I wanted to do him like in an action figure package from the 90s, like with the bubble plastic and all that. So
which I just love so much. I'm so excited about that.
It's going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm going to see if I can do that like sort of lineless art that makes it look like it's plastic, but we'll see how that goes. Probably not.
I think that's the which my internet might be being weird, so if I'm cutting out, I apologize. I think that's the fun of the Doodle Crew is so much of it is we're gonna see how it goes. It might work. But yeah, all right. So yeah, I apologize for my chugging internet. We've had issues all week. So if I drop out, my bad. But I am Swan. You're on my channel, but you can find me across the internet at a swan named Emily. Also, if you want to ever catch up on any episodes of the Doodle Crew that you missed, follow us across our various social media platforms and at Doodle Crew Draw. Also, all the episodes always end up on my YouTube page. So if you want to check out any of those, if you want to throw us different suggestions or prompts, definitely do that. But the one I'm going to be drawing today is Rainbow Bright. And I know that lovely Megan already covered it on Doodle Crew, but I couldn't resist because this was my childhood jam as a kid, and I loved Rainbow Bright. I very, very much wanted the toys from it. I never had them, but I watched this a lot. So my thought was I'm going to try and do like a sticker sheet of all different like silly Rainbow Bright things, but having it look like it's an actual, like, maybe not full Lisa Frank, but an actual sticker sheet. So that's my push for today. We'll see. Again, we'll see how it goes. All right. This and close it. Yeah.
I have to
And
admit,
I think something fun about. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I have to admit, after I was starting to block this in, and I realized that Mega Man is lots of straight lines and geometric curves, that I was like, why didn't I pick something like Strawberry Shortcake? Like, seriously. Or Gem.
Because we like a challenge, I guess.
Do we? I don't think so. But
I keep trying to tell myself I do. All right. That looks good. There we go. All right, gotta pull in my reference. So were you, like, I send this out to all of you. Were you aware as a kid of like the direct connection between like marketing of the toys and the cartoons and that type of stuff? Because I know I wasn't. Like, I was very, I think, blissfully unaware of like that capitalism, consumerism link up where I was just like, wait, they made toys of my show? Like, that's so cool. So I was unaware.
Well, I know that my mother definitely knew that she could get me to do anything if she would just bribe me with a pack of those stickers to put in my Thundercat sticker book.
yeah, as far as the shows that were specifically created to sell stuff, I don't think I was aware of that as much. Because, you know, as a kid, you see the cereal commercials and all the toys when you're watching Saturday morning cartoons, and you're like, hey, I want that. So it worked, but I was definitely not like, oh, they specifically made this cartoon, this really bad Zelda cartoon, to sell more Zelda stuff. Or the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Like, come on.
You mean that wasn't just made for our entertainment?
It was made for somebody's entertainment, that's for sure.
Still not sure whose. Oh, God. Yeah, I think like action figures I remember, but it's definitely, like you said, it's the cereal. Like, the amount of cereal cartoon, like, advertisement that's still in my brain. I'm like, no, you got in there good.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Squish Beans puts it very well. Like, I know that the toys are all part of the push for the show, but they made a toy for my show. Wins out. Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know, like, Power Rangers, like getting the toys from the OG Power Rangers, which is what I considered doing. Like, that was a big exciting thing for me because they were really well articulated. Like, they were cool little toys, and I was already super bought in to the show. Like, no, I'm here for this. This is all things that I like.
Oh yeah.
So, I guess not a cartoon. So,
Counts.
it's definitely got the nostalgia. When I was thinking about all of the, again, you know, people in chat, if you've not already assessed this, you know, the Doodle Crew members are not young anymore. We're vibrant, but we're not young. But I very, very much remember, and the YouTube link that you sent me, Randall, talking about Carmen Sandiego, like the idea that you could get a postcard and send like a self-addressed stamped envelope like into this to qualify for all these different things. Like, as I was watching that, I was like, that is so ingrained in my memory, and it's so not a thing anymore. Like, that's not a thing that you do. But
Yeah, that's very true. I can't remember the last time I even considered sending a postcard to someone.
I still have all of the jingles memorized for the addresses of the different things to send in, like Stick Stickley. I will never forget Stick Stickley's address. Or Scruff McGruff. New York City, New York State, 10108.
oh God, I love it.
You know that there are people like almost like this evil council of marketing people like sitting in a dark room and they're like, yes, it's working. Like all of us are part of some covert study for brainwashing the masses and implanting thoughts, and it's all in the innocent form of Nickelodeon and cereal jingles.
I just hope that those P.O. boxes are still getting jam-packed with things from people that are like, I wonder if this is still a thing. I'm going to send in a self-addressed stamped envelope. It's like how they can't use the number 8675309 anymore because people still try calling it.
They just want Jenny.
I mean, the song advertises her so well.
Not wrong.
Oh, yeah. Squish Beans said in the comments that the Scruff McGruff jingle and also the jingle from the TV show Zoom that was on PBS.
I don't know if I know. Well, I might know Zoom jingles, but I don't know it by name. The one I will always sing that will forever be in my brain is the claymation of the fire hydrant with "After these messages, we'll be right back." Yeah, that one's in there forever. I will die with that in my brain. Yeah, Scruff McGruff. He was good stuff.
He was keeping the youths safe. Taking a bite out of crime.
Yeah.
I want to see our gritty reboot.
Oh my gosh, but in like super like Punisher Max style where it's like real gritty. Like, yeah, I'd watch it.
can't hear
Hello,
the word
Father.
gritty. Can't hear the word gritty without thinking of Gritty, the mascot. So when you said it, I
Yep.
just imagined the reboot where Scruff McGruff is like chasing down Gritty, who has been wrongfully accused of something.
Wrongfully?
Hi, he's grown on me.
Like a fungus.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's grown on me. I like him a lot more than Iceberg, who has personally offended me. That guy is a jerk.
Come for the cartoons, get the hockey drama.
Watch me pretend like I know anything that you're talking about.
I just love that like early on in the penguins, like there used to actually be like real penguins that then required like a whole separate like care facility thing because they hadn't thought that out really well. Like, yeah. So yes, Bean, you are correct. You do see Mega Man and Rainbow Bright, classic. We also have Thundercats and My Little Pony rounding out our ensemble.
Whew. This is already getting tired. I've finally got back to work in the office, so I've been busy.
Yeah. Okay. Nope, not what I wanted. Okay. Also trying to remember like all of those sticker packs that we used to get, like all the different weird things that were on them. And Squish Bean says, I love the Friendship is Magic version. Fluttershy is everything to me.
Did any of you have color forms?
I remember that, yeah.
I remember it. I definitely didn't have many.
I had the Rainbow Bright ones.
Aw. Yay.
Had Smurfs and the Lion King.
Yeah, that's worse.
Oh, speaking of things in marketing, The Lion King. Oh boy.
I was thinking about, I was talking to my sister recently. Hi, baby. About specifically the Lion King video game for the Game Boy, like OG Game Boy, and how gosh darn hard that stupid game was. Like I saw a TikTok where the person was talking about, like, I think it was an actual like streamer playing it on stream, and she's just like, wait, I'm dead and I have to start again. I'm like, yup, there was no mercy in the Lion King Game Boy game. Alright.
Yeah, what was that? Squish Beans was doing trying to do the speed run for SNES. Yeah, the SNES Lion King. That one is hard too.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of mercy for kids with those games. It was very cutthroat.
They used to not think that there was replay value in video games. So they're like, we don't want someone to beat this in an hour or two because then they'll never play it again.
Yeah.
Make it so hard that you're going to dump hours into this. And we did it. But then they didn't realize we will also put ourselves through that torture. Again, and again.
Oh, yeah.
Quarters, if it was
And again.
very classic arcade.
Yep. Yeah, it's always funny to me being whenever Randall brings up Mega Man, because that was one I just like missed, like completely. Like Mega Man just never entered my realm in animation or toys or games. Like I missed it completely. So I don't know how, but I did.
I have Mega Man to thank for my love of character art, because it was an issue of Nintendo Power that challenged everyone to make the new end bosses for Mega Man 5 and send them in to be actually made as in the video game. That got me started on drawing. I drew hundreds of them, and I don't think I actually got to send them in before the contest ended, but that got me going with the art.
You forgot your self-addressed stamped envelope, didn't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Dang it!
I was like, just, hey, could you mail this for me, Mom? Because I was like, probably 6.
I remember I bought a video game
Yeah,
on
yeah,
PlayStation, and it had like a special offer in it that if you sent in the little like card filled out with $3, you could get a special soundtrack and multimedia CD for your computer that you could get like desktop wallpapers and different things. So I was like, holy crap, that's so cool. I want that. And that was a time when I didn't really know that I guess you were supposed to like use a money order or a check or something. So I just legitimately put $3 bills in a thing and sent it. And I was like, they sent it to me, but I'm like, I don't think I was supposed to do it that way, but now it's like you would just pop onto the website probably and like use your PayPal or something and do it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to me because so many of those, we'll say like pavement street team marketing things that they did, like wouldn't work as well anymore. Like you can adapt it to the internet age, but it's so much of its time because, literally like pull out this postcard that's in your highlights magazine. This is the only way to then get more information about this thing that we're teasing you about. And then we'll reveal it to you. Like, you can't have that now because literally like, I'll take a picture of it and the QR code will take me to their website. And like, it's, it's not the same.
Which is a really good point that you brought up. Is I'd completely forgotten about Highlights magazine until just this moment. Yeah. And now I'm just like, but what else would I have looked at while I was at the dentist office?
Gotta get my Goofus and Gallant fix. Like, how will I know right from wrong without Goofus and Gallant? It's so bad. It's so bad. I think they're still at like dentists and doctor offices, like pediatric ones. Like, I don't even know if they're still making new issues or they're just recycled ones from before.
I think so. I remember was that National Geographic magazine, and every year I got the same 5 issues. I think I stopped that for a couple of years, but I was like, what? Didn't I get this one?
Oh, there was it was one of the zoo mags. It wasn't the main one, like it was the other one. I remember I subscribed to that for a while, or rather, my parents subscribed to that for a while. Oh, what was it?
Yeah.
Like not National Geographic, but one of the other ones.
No, it definitely had like zoo in the name of it.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of. But I can't think of the name.
Zoo magazine
Zoo
for
books.
kids. Zoo books. That's
Yeah.
And there was another one that was very similar to it, but I was a Zoo Books girl. Yeah. I'll never forget because there was a picture and the animal that they were highlighting was the vampire bat, and I got very distressed because apparently the vampire bats will sometimes suck the blood of horses, and it had a picture of a horse's leg and it was bleeding, and I was very upset because we had horses, and I was now traumatized that the bats were going to eat the horses. And yeah, it's so weird that I don't have a great tolerance for horror movies now as an adult. That's so weird. I handled it so well as a kid. Thanks, Zoo Books. Oh, man.
That is interesting, though. I didn't think about it until now, but not that I really watch TV anymore to see the commercials, but do they even still advertise like magazine subscriptions for kids?
I don't know. I don't think so, but again, I speak to very, very unknowing on that.
Like, do kids even read magazines? Do they know how to read magazines?
Because, like, also, like, if your parents have a subscription, would you just get it on your tablet and, like, have the kids read it on the tablet? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
People
it's all
in chat.
digital.
Yeah.
It's all digital now.
exactly.
I went antiquing yesterday, and they had a bunch of vintage fashion magazines at this one antique place, and they were huge. And apparently, magazines used to be like huge. And my friend's mother was like, "Oh my god, I remember when magazines were like this," and it like blew my mind because they started cutting costs, so they made it smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yep.
And now there's no paper involved at all.
I remember the one magazine that I really wanted as a kid, but like I was poor, so I couldn't, was the Nickelodeon magazine they always advertised.
Yep.
Because I'm like, I want Ren and Stimpy stickers and things. Like, how else am I going to get them?
Yeah, again, I was so painfully late to the Nickelodeon train because at my main house, my parents' house, we didn't have it, so it was on only at my grandparents' house thing. And also, like, there's no way my parents let me watch Ren and Stimpy. Like, that doesn't happen. So, like, I was aware of it peripherally, but never like directly.
Yeah. When I was a kid, my mom used to babysit her one friend's kid, and he was much younger. And his grandparents were very, very conservative people. And so they came over once, and I was watching Ren and Stimpy. They're like, "That's not The Simpsons, is it?" And I was like, "No." They're like, "Okay, that's fine. We don't like him watching that show." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, it's gonna be a rude awakening for you.
Yeah, I remember when that was the edgy show.
Yeah, like I feel like Simpsons got a lot of like that was the hard line with so many parents, which again, as we've talked multiple times on the show, there was so much other weird stuff happening in cartoons that we were watching. Like, honestly, Simpsons wasn't even the worst. And yeah, Ren and Stimpy just, oh my goodness. Yeah, being like, I think the celebrity magazines, they're still going strong, but I feel like the edutainment side of magazines has definitely diminished significantly. Oh shoot! Oh, that's what this is. Again, I had the thought and I didn't want to lose it, but my brain is broken. So, for Christmas one year, a friend of mine gifted me the Star Wars Christmas special. I think because he secretly hated me. But no, but it was a really cool find because it was on a burned DVD. Like, it was obviously someone who had adapted it into a digital version. But what was cool is on the DVD as well was an episode of the Muppet Show where Mark Hamill was on right around Star Wars time, plus like 30 minutes of commercials advertising Star Wars toys. And they are ridiculous and delightful. And it's so funny because, again, a bunch of the toys came out before the Empire Strikes Back came out. So they're advertising like the names of all the bounty hunters. The bounty hunters don't even get named in the movie. Like, they're talking about like Forlom's gonna do this, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, he's super not though. He's gonna be in like 2 shots and you're never gonna think about him again. But it was, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was just, I was like, I sat and watched the whole thing. I'm like, this is insane. Like, I'm literally just sitting here watching toy commercials from the 80s. But it's so good.
Every now and then I get those recommendations on YouTube of like Halloween commercials from the 80s and 90s and like all these compilations of old TV commercials. And I just get sucked in and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember all of these, like sitting there watching ABC Saturday morning cartoons and like seeing the McDonald's Boo Buckets advertised for Halloween.
Oh.
All the Elvira commercials for beer that I still thought was like super fun. Yay, alcohol.
God. A lot of commercials I remember from back then, that things that they just don't do anymore in commercials, like Dum Dums or gum. I don't see gum commercials a lot anymore.
Yeah.
Now, aside from the really weird 5 gum that had like just that strange marketing campaign, and Orbits, I think those are the only 2 gum commercials I've actually seen in the last 10 years.
No fruit stripe gum. Yikes, stripes. Fruit stripe gum.
I haven't seen a Mentos commercial in like 20 years.
Yeah.
That's an exaggerated number. I don't know the exact number. I'm not super old, just a little old.
Yeah. I keep telling myself that. Just a little old. Yeah, like Nicole, those gum commercials were so strange. Like, they just leaned into that whole weird marketing campaign. You're like, okay. Oh, yes. So being the Rancor trainer, one of my personal favorites from the movie because he just gets so sad. Also, in the extended universe books, in the Tales from Jabba's Palace, he has his own story, and it's so sweet. It's so good. Yeah, so I will always have a soft spot for him. Again, even though he doesn't say much, but he acts with his eyes. You feel it. Yes. I love that book. That and the Tales from Mos Eisley, like, they're both so good.
I get picked on by my D&D groups because I have the mini for everything that comes up. Or I have a representation, like an owl bear popped up, and I was like, just reached off camera and pulled an owl bear mini into frame, and they're like, what? How? And I like shrugged. My character in that campaign is a rogue, and we met a guy who had a coonskin cap, and one of the other characters like nudged mine and was like, go ahead and steal it. And I happened to roll really well, so I stole it, and I reached off camera and put a raccoon cap on my head, and they're like, how? this is impossible. And I'm like, I have a lot of random things.
This is kind of how I do. Also, I'm partial to that coonskin cap because that was literally like your trip up with Dom and Randall to come visit me. So that one makes me happy. Ooh. Oh, so Squishbean says, I do actively seek out holiday commercials, though. When that time of year rolls around, I look for the Eaton Park tree, the Hershey's Kisses playing the Jingle Bells, and PA Lottery commercials. Nope, that's fair. I do like the little Hershey's Kisses playing the Jingle Bells. That one's cute. I will forever love the M&M's one, which is old now, where they do exist. Like that one, I don't know why. That one just lands really well with me.
We don't talk a lot about 3D animation, but the M&Ms have looked good ever since they started. Like, they never looked not good in a commercial. Yeah. And there's some really early 3D animation for them.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I think it's, not only did they go with a very simple character design, obviously, but I think they nailed the lighting, which is usually like if something's going to look really off in the early 3D, like everything is just like too shiny or too glossy or like just doesn't work. And yeah, I agree completely that they found the way to really make that work.
It's kind of funny the things that you think about when you've been trained to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a video that popped up on Instagram yesterday that I was looking at, and the setup was that someone placed out little cardboard speakers and like a DJ setup, and there were pigeons nearby that came over to inspect it, and then they turned it into like a pigeon rave. But I noticed immediately as soon as they started raving that they had replaced the pigeons with CG pigeons. And I'm like, is nobody going to effing say anything? Because this is so bad. You people don't even see that they're fake.
That's really funny.
This is why you're stupid and you believe everything you see.
Yeah. I think for a while I was trying to be really careful with who I went to animated, especially 3D animated movies with, because I would get ridiculous. Like when I sat in the theater and saw Cars for the first time and Lightning McQueen spins his tires and the smoke effect that comes up off of that, like I was losing my mind. And the person next to me is like, dude, chill. And I was like, no, but you don't understand. You know how they had to write the script for that particle effect because it's got to catch the wind of the tires, but it can't go through and blah, blah, blah. They're just like, watch the movie, Emily. I'm like, but it's only the first 10 minutes. Yeah. I mean, I'm super chill. That's my thing. I'm glad, Mayor Squish. I'm glad. Sometimes it's a little too much for even me, but. So, Sarah, I'm going to see if you remember, because as you were talking about ponies, I was having flashbacks to like the pony toys that I had growing up, because I was all about that pony life. Like the Grand Champion girl, where they're just like the most beautiful horses in the world. Yeah, that was me. I was all about that pony life. But oh, BB. Like, I loved the old designs too. Like, they're wonky as shit, but I liked them. There were two little, I want to say they were like the holiday ponies, but they were a completely pure white pony that had bright red hair. And I can't remember what their cutie marks were. Like, I think they might have been cherries, but I just remember they were like twins or something. Like, those were my favorite out of the toys. And I was trying to remember if that was actually a pony or if it was just like marketing.
I don't remember them as ponies in the show.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that there wasn't something that I missed. I'm watching through My Little Pony Friends again right now because of all this. And I will probably watch through My Little Pony Tales, which is not really very good. And I haven't watched a lot of the stuff that came after up until Friendship is Magic. So there's probably a lot that I did miss. But I don't remember them. They did have a lot of ponies that were toys that were not in the show.
That's what I was thinking with that one. Because they were definitely like, so you had like the regular size pony. Like I remember one I had, she was bright pink and she had like sunset hair. So she had like bright blue, bright yellow, bright orange. And I thought that was so cool. But then these little guys, they were like half of the size of that. And I'm pretty sure they're still at my parents' house. I think there's a whole box of my toys of all that. So I would not have gotten rid of them because they meant things to me.
Just remember having a root beer float. My Little Pony that came with like a sundae and a straw. And if you squeeze the sundae, little tiny balls that were colored like the sundae would go up. So it looked like she was taking sips of the sundae. And I was like, when are they going to put this one on the show? I never did. And
Never
it
did.
always kind of bummed me out.
Also, to go back to what you said, Emily, with like they're probably at my parents' house because I can't get myself to throw anything away. As I was cleaning my room yesterday, there were so many things in my closet that have been in my closet for like 10 years.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, I can't throw this away because this was a gift from so-and-so. And then I'm like, but I don't use it ever. I don't look at it ever. It is in the closet. Like, stop being a little dick and just throw it away.
Like having your hand over the trash can and it's shaking, like, just do it. I'm like, but I can't. I can't.
And I hear that monster's voice in my head saying, does this spark joy?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. You're right. Damn it.
I have to do the purge every like 5 years. And it hurts. It really hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
once it's done, you feel so much better.
Mhm.
And I forget which one we were talking about it on, if it was a regular stream or a Doodle Crew or something, but one of them, and it was talking about some of the toys, like, I'll never buy this again. Like, one, you'll never find it because these are toys from the early 90s, but two, like, I would never seek this out as a collector item to own, but at the same time, like, knowing how hard it would be to get it back if for some reason I ever wanted it, like, that's
Yep.
my, like, but I can't, because it's not like a lot of, we'll say, more current toys that are probably a little bit easier, like old comics had a very specific print run, so there's a limit to how many of them were produced that you could pick up, whereas comics from the 90s, there were so many extras of them made. They're not hard to find. So like there's that little bit of like, I know it's not in package. I know it's not like I played with it. It's played with. It is a used toy, but we can't let it go.
Oh yeah.
Kicking myself a little bit for making a design that's so huge because I had to I don't have a way of making it digital that is big enough. So now I am stitching together different images, and it's not easy. I haven't started painting yet.
Well, I'm also having the realization that once again, instead of just drawing like one image, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? 6 images in one.
Yeah.
It's like, you drew 6 different things. You have to draw and ink and paint 6 different. What are you doing? I was like, no, this is a good idea. We should definitely do this. So we're doing it. I wonder why I never get any of my pieces done.
I was talking to Kristen about this thing that I'm doing, and I was like, yeah, so when I'm planning it out, you know, I'm going to set it up this way so that if I decide to do a series, and as soon as I said it, I'm like, bitch, you're not going to do a series. We all know that you're going to do maybe half of the first one, and that's it.
But you have those plans. Like, that idea feels so good. Like, oh, this could be really cool. I'm never going to do it.
Nope.
Mm.
I was gonna say, except for you, Idaho, because you are actually like going through and illustrating your D&D characters. You're doing the thing that you said you'd do. So
Gonna take some time, but yeah.
well, I remember so again, absolutely shameless self-promotion. But I just listed them in my Etsy store, so I was thinking about it. But I have a trio of oversized playing cards of the Gotham Girls. So I have Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman. And like I got great feedback from them at shows, and I had a ton of fun doing them. Thank you, Mayor Squish. But I'd have so many people who were like, oh, are you going to do a whole playing card set? Are you going to make more? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I have all these ideas. But that little voice in my brain was like, girl, you know you're never going to do more. Like, you're just not going to. Like, you say you will, you're not gonna. I was like, shit,
Nope.
You're totally. Like, I even looked into how to print my own playing cards, and it's actually not that hard. I'm never going to do it, though. I'm never going to do it. So.
My big thing is my YouTube channel. As much as I've written, as much as I've prepped on Adobe Animate, I need to finish the recording and actually do the animation. And it's so hard to get myself to open that box again.
Yep. Well, and I know something that we've talked about a lot of times is the momentum. And some of that is legit, like other projects that are either paying work or my day job, like get in the way. But there's a weird like zen when you are in a total focus with a project. And if you step away from it for a good chunk of time, like it's hard to get back to that same place. And it can be very stressful.
Try number 3.
All right, so let's. Did not actually leave enough space for her hair because she's got big hair.
I may, after this, invest in a large flatbed scanner.
I think I found one. It's 12 by 18 because I needed it for comics. But it was only like $150, and that was years ago. Like it was surprisingly not bad.
That sounds like just what I need. I also do comics, but I ink digitally. I draw like by hand and then scan in my little drawings. And in comics, I can resize that to the panels that I need. And then I ink digitally. But for these, I've been doing everything inking by hand. And it's fun to practice that, like stretch that muscle. But also now I'm running into, I can't make something this big. That's
yeah, having to stitch it together and having it not match is so infuriating. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I would run into too, then like, even though my phone camera is really good, like there's still a certain level of distortion. And if you don't, get it at just the right height and the same thing, like, but why? And then I'm like, all right, so I zoomed out enough, but now I'm getting a weird shadow from my overhead lights, or like it's not high enough resolution, and just tears, chat. There's just a lot of tears, just a lot of heartache in all of this.
Really, it's me. Why did I do this to myself?
Again, story of my artistic career. Why did you do that? Why'd you do that to yourself?
This third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. I'm gonna give up and just say we're doing it, even though it's not to the quality I would like.
But yeah, before I got my actual like drawing tablet that I'm working on now, whenever I would make my comics, I would always sketch and ink traditionally and then scan that inked page, and I would just color digitally because I had a Wacom tablet, but I wasn't a confident inker with that. Like I just couldn't get the inks to look the way I wanted to, so it was faster for me to do them traditionally and then just scan it and color it digitally. But now, like I was like, oh no, I can ink a lot faster now with this tablet than I ever could. But I still genuinely like the feel of drawing traditionally, especially when I'm making comics. So
I just figured that since this is for fun, I should try not to lose that muscle memory, that ability to have those technical skills. And part of me is enjoying it, and part of me right now is screaming all the regret.
I have much regret. For some reason, that just made me think of Dominic, and I chuckled all over again. I could hear him saying that.
Yeah. When I first started doing the D&D characters, I would just draw out the sketches by hand in pencil, and then when I discovered that I could sketch in digital, and this ear isn't in the position that I want to, not having to erase it, just select it and rotate and reshape it. I'm like, oh, that's so much better. I can't do that with pencil.
Oh, this might be better.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. This is a bit ago, but I think I ended up clipping it and putting it over on my YouTube. But Future X Skeleton, who was in chat earlier, he had asked me once on one of my personal streams about the difference between, working traditionally and working digitally, because I think I had grabbed like facial features and just like squished them or resized them, and like the speed of that. And it was very much like, no, if you want to talk like straight up editing on the fly and being able to work through something so much faster, you can't beat that in digital. But like Sarah said, it's still important to me because there are things that working traditionally and forcing myself to make conscious decisions and being very mindful of anatomy and placement and perspective and all that, like forcing myself to do that traditionally only helps the digital, because then I'm not having to spend so much time making corrections. I can when I need to, but I don't have to, rework a whole piece because I had let that skill set slide.
Yeah, I definitely find now that since I have been doing more digital art, that when I try to draw in a sketchbook, I'm like, how does anatomy work? What is things? I'm not cheating and tracing over something. What? And then there's that voice in the back of my head just screaming, fake artist, fake. You're a big faker.
You're a phony.
Give back your degree.
We can't give it back. There's no one to give it back to.
Which, funny enough, when I was cleaning yesterday, I found my, like the little binder that you're supposed to put your diploma in.
Oh, yeah.
There was no diploma in it. I have no idea where my diploma is.
Oh, no. They mailed it to us in like a regular mailer, so.
Yeah, no clue.
Oh my god.
It's probably lost to time, but it doesn't matter.
We're artists. We'll just scan mine and put your name in. It'll
True.
be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, for a school that had a graphic design major, our diplomas are the most boring, poorly designed diplomas I've ever seen. Like, they're not even like fake, like old-timey script, font or anything. Like, it's so plain. I was like, seriously? Like, I know I got a bachelor's of science, but it's still an art school. Could we have done anything to make this look just a little, like, I don't want to put this on my wall. Nobody wants to look at this, including me.
I want to put it on my bathroom wall like that Weaker Than song.
Yeah, a lot of the graphic stuff for AI was kind of lackluster. Like, don't they teach this stuff in the school? And they outsource to other graphic firms to make it. Great.
This just seems sick. Like, what are you doing?
So at least we know we won't be getting any work from them when we graduate, if any at all.
Oh, Art Institute of Pittsburgh, you are so silly. Yeah, I forget how it came up, but it was funny recently. I was talking about the Doodle Crew and how, it kind of, it was when I was talking to Andre, and I was saying like how it initially started was a lot of artists that I met in school and we went to school together who were still friends to this day. But then it became so much funnier as I added people from Comic-Cons that I'd met that also were Art Institute people. I was like, I didn't even meet you there. You just happened to also go to this school. And it was just like, there's so many of us now. There's more of us than anybody else for Doodle Crew. Oh, good pull, Paul. He says, you're so plain. You probably thought this thing would be artsy. I did think it would be artsy. It wasn't.
Speaking of cons, I don't think I mentioned that New Dimension Comics had their con over the weekend.
Yeah. I saw a little bit of the pictures. Did you get a chance to go, or?
No, I had no idea it was even happening, and I just was at the waterfront that day and saw somebody walking down the street in a full furry suit, and I'm like, first of all, ma'am, it is 87 degrees today. What are you doing? Second of all, it's not Anthrocon. What is happening? And then I saw the tent set up, and it's like, oh, I bet it's New Dimension doing their con.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that advertisement for that.
Which I like them. I've always had a really great time. So for anybody in chat who's curious, it is the Three Rivers Comic-Con. But New Dimension Comics has, I think, like 4 locations throughout Pennsylvania, but around the surrounding Pittsburgh area. And I think like when they were originally sending us emails about being a part of it, I still hadn't gotten my confirmed dates for getting vaccinations and all of that. Now, I was lucky. I ended up being able to get both of mine done and completed by the end of May. But it was one of those where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be ready. Like, I don't know what, like, and they were cool because it was outside. Like, they did a lot to accommodate that, but I just didn't know where I was going to be at. So I postponed it for another year. But yeah, I'd like to go back because they're super nice dudes.
Yeah. And in a much better location now.
Yeah. Not the abandoned mall with like 3 stores in it. Oh God. Like, so the Monroeville Mall is the one that everybody knows from the Pittsburgh zombie movies, but this mall was out in West Mifflin, and like it was the comic book shop, a sub restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and a Dick's. And like, this is a humongous mall. Like, but everything else was empty. And it was the creepiest thing, like trying to drive around and figure out where you go, because they've got like above ground parking. They've got like, it's not underground, but it was like tiers of parking as it's coming down. Like, it was the creepiest thing. And like, you'd wander anywhere else in the mall and like none of the lights are on and it's real shady. And like, you just try and go towards hearing sound. But the convention itself was actually taking place in the former space of a Boscov's, I think. So it was like an old department store, but the department store wasn't there anymore, but that's where we held the con. And it was just, yeah, it was trying to get people. They're like, you want us to come to West Mifflin? And I was like, yeah, the con's really cool. It's just out there.
Yeah, you didn't grow up in Pittsburgh. That Century 3 used to be it. That was the big mall. It had a double-decker merry-go-round, huge fountain. You could just get anything you go, because it was like not only a mile long, but also like 3 or 4 floors in the whole mall.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was New Dimensions was one of the last things to go. JCPenney was the last thing.
Okay.
Before they officially condemned the building.
Yeah, it was unsettling in there at times.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's something kind of like, I understand it, and that the way that, you know, malls and mall culture has changed and gone back and forth, but like, there's something sad about that much of a building being abandoned. Like that, it's so much construction, it's so much time, it's all this stuff to have it just not be a thing anymore. I don't know. That one always kind of just, it bums me out. I'm like, oh, once you were something. Also, unrelated, I'm going to throw out a save reminder for everybody who is working digitally.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I want to save.
You're not the boss of me, Emily. There we are. Doop.
Yeah, it might be time for a flatbed scanner.
I can definitely get you. I mean, again, mine is old now, but I can send you the brand that I got, that I was pleased with.
I also think I did not plan out how I inked this, because if I were to redo it, I would be like, oh yes, let's ink all of the creepy background. That's do the pony separately and then this wave thing and piece it together that way instead of
Like squares.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And learning every day.
It was fun. The other day, I was at the winery and I had a really great couple who were like my first tasting of the day, and we ended up getting chatting about art because hi, it's me. And that's what I want to do. But it was really fun because like the boyfriend was super super cute because like he was hyping his girlfriend up so much. She's like, yeah, she's an artist. She does all this. And she's sitting there. She's like, no, like I literally just paint a little bit. Like I'm not any good. I'm just like, no, it's awesome. Like it doesn't have to be your job. Like it can be a hobby, blah, blah. But we got talking about not only continuing to learn, but like when she first tried to use Adobe, like how unfriendly it was. And she's like, honestly, like Canva is so much simpler. And I was like, no. And I think I don't think Adobe will ever go away, but there's a reason that a lot of people use other software, and especially like on tablets with Procreate and Canva and stuff like that. Like they streamlined it so much that it can be an easier thing to use and get the majority of people who want to do stuff to the point that they want to get to. Like you don't have to learn Adobe to survive now.
Mm-hmm.
I just, laugh in 15 years of trying to master Adobe as I cry. Like, it's fine.
As I sit here working in Adobe. Talking smack right to my face.
Right to
Your styles
face.
definitely can use that really well. Oh, those gradients though, damn.
I was gonna say it looks super cool.
Thank you.
I feel like if I would have just spent today digitally inking this, would have been better. It's all right. Someday I'll understand how to do art.
That is what I tell myself every week.
Someday you too can be a master. Whoa. Uh-oh.
Hey man, Raging Lady Boner. First off, welcome. Hi, nice to see you. And nothing wrong with it. Perfect follow-up. Future X Skeleton says, my very artistically untalented ass only watches streams. No, there's a reason. Like they made Canva so user-friendly that you should use it. None of that is a comment on you as an artist. Again, learn from us as we literally like fight and struggle through our programs. We're just like, no, now I'm pissed. Now I'm going to beat it, whether that's a good use of my time or not. Or someone else would be like, couldn't you just pull it into something else and do it there? I'm like, no, it's not art unless I suffer. It's fine.
Okay, well that's fun. And by that I mean not. So for some reason, ever since I put that gradient on his like helmet visor thing, anytime I try to draw on top of it, it turns pixelated and then puts a giant box around it, and then I say undo, and it just like takes everything away.
No.
So why are you doing this, Adobe? Maybe I just need to rasterize the layer style.
Yeah, I think the best way I've ever described Adobe, especially Photoshop, is like it's knocked you down on the pavement and it continues to beat you, but you don't get up and run away. You're just like, no, please stop. And it's like, I'm not going to stop and you're not going to leave. And I was like, I know, but it hurts. Please stop.
Ooh.
It's fine.
Funnest part of getting back into a design job is having to toggle between the keystrokes of a Mac and a Windows with my left hand. Undo is different configuration depending on if I'm at work or at home.
Yeah, no, especially if you've been working in one more, like when I was working a ton in CorelDRAW and I hadn't bothered to set up my shortcut keys, like I would get so irrationally upset when I would go to hit things and it wouldn't let me do it. And I'm just like, just let me do it. And I'd move back to, Clip Studio or Photoshop or something. And then I was like, I don't remember how to do any of this. No.
I've been going back between Photoshop and After Effects. And you would think that the two of those, since they're both Adobe, would have enough similar hotkeys that it's like, yeah, this is fine. I'm not having trouble at all. Oh, wait. Just hitting T does not give me the text tool. Why? Why wouldn't that be the thing? In every other Adobe thing, this gives me the move tool. Oh, okay. After Effects are different. My brain cannot remember one is different. I will consistently open the anchor tool when I just want to select vertices.
Yep, it was it's F8 to get text in CorelDRAW. I'm like, who picked that? No. I feel you.
All right, Jarek. You are slowly becoming a thing.
Okay. The cat is happily snuggled. I had a moment though where I was like, wait, I haven't heard anything from you in a while. Where are you? Where are you and what are you doing? It's fine. It's fine. Also, I'm pretty sure now, like Sarah, with watching all of this or drawing all of this, all I want to do afterwards is go back and like, I just want to go watch some Rainbow Bright. I know I'm going to be disappointed because it's not going to hold up, but I still want to watch it.
Oh, My Little Pony's great still. No nostalgia goggles here.
Oh, and I know I've talked to you about it a number of times, but the one of the Care Bear movies with the girl who's the marble shooter and the little like bad red boy. Like I have so much in my brain where I was just like, I just want to rewatch that, but I've never brought myself to because I think it's going to be a painful rewatching, and I just don't want that.
The original Care Bears movie is still good. Like I watch it occasionally. It's not like spectacular, but it's not bad. The second one I haven't seen in a little longer because I don't own that one, but I imagine it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah. I feel like they had a decent budget for that because like I remember like there was a lot going on and it's a full-length movie. Like even if it was, direct to VHS, I still feel like it got some care.
Was it direct to VHS? It might have been in theaters.
I don't remember. Also because that means I'm going to have to look it up and see what year it came out and then I might cry.
Probably 1984, 86.
Well, I can say if it was in theaters in 86, I didn't see it then.
I think they got actual voice actors. Celebrity voice talent for it.
So one VHS of Care Bears from back in the day that I watched the heck out of was Care Bears Nutcracker Suite.
Ooh.
I own that too. Awesome.
Now, I never noticed this as a child, but the Royal Vizier, the villain, probably not a character that would be able to fly in 2020, as he's just stereotypical turban, Jafar mustache,
oh boy,
kind of character that's like, is he Muslim?
Oh, were we just being really insensitive? Oh, I think we were.
But as a kid, you'd never notice that.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely funny when you go back and you look at those old things and you're like, oh, wow, that was, they thought that was okay. Like, I was playing an old Sega Saturn game recently, and the company that localized these games, they took tendencies to, like, just to be silly. And in this case, they definitely made a little white girl talk in a very specific way. And the mom is like, I just don't understand why she talks this way. She picked up something that they're calling ebonics. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I guarantee that every person working in this game studio was probably white. And they didn't think that this was a thing that they should not be doing.
Oh God.
I guess we can at least feel good that we're recognizing this now and that these things that happened were wrong. I don't think that many of the things were done to be malicious. Like I was watching the Muppet Show on streaming, and there was a big message that was like, there's something that's is culturally insensitive in this. Instead of removing the full episode, we're going to give you this warning. It was wrong then and it is wrong now. And I'm like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. What did the Muppets do that was like so heinous that it needed this giant slide? And it was one little segment, and it was a song about Turkish women and how the one character loved Turkish women, and she had like the veil and everything. And then when she took the veil off, she was actually a Turkish man. Okay. And I'm like, okay, I understand. But it was just like in my, like when I saw that slide, I'm like, oh my God, but it's the Muppets. The Muppets are for everyone. And they, to my knowledge, have always been like, very positive for everyone.
Yes.
Like they always try to take steps in the right direction. And I was like mortified that this slide came up for the Muppets. I'm like, okay, I understand this now. Yeah. But I was terrified that the Muppets were like used a racial slur and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And it was less heinous than my brain went to. But it was like, no, I don't think that they made that skit to like hurt people in any way. It was just, now we can see that the more obvious, blatant things to us now stick out like a sore thumb in old media.
Yes. Well, and it's funny, I was talking about that recently, and it was I don't want this, like, those cartoons to be erased completely, because then you forget about them, and you forget that we did it wrong for a bit. And that's why I love, like, the disclaimer, like, no, it was wrong then, it's wrong now. Like, here's where we put art in a museum so that we can have active remembering of it, but also understand the social commentary now that we are learning and we are evolving. Like, we can understand that this was made in a very specific time, and the goal being, now when you make new stuff, you learn from that and you don't make the same mistakes, not to just sit there and, criticize the art when it came out. I was like, no, it was bad then, but you can't go back and change that. Our whole goal now is, hey, let's do better. Let's be better with representation and inclusivity and being mindful of the media that we put out there.
Yeah. And you mentioned the joke of that Turkish Muppet show was, yeah, she's actually a man. And I've been watching a lot of videos lately about that, how it's been such ingrained in media that cross-dressing is the joke, when it's not that funny at all. And it's also kind of hurtful for people who are trans, or I've been doing a lot of self-reflection on that recently, just thinking about how I find humor, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because, I got friends now that are that like RuPaul's Drag Race. They're drag queens themselves, and it's an art form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've had a drag queen on our stream.
I was gonna say, friend of the stream, Hebe Buffet. But yeah, no, and Idaho, like, you said it so perfectly with the cross-dressing was the joke. And that's the, like, no, this is where we need to do better, because it's not a joke. Like, you could just have that character and they don't have to be the punchline. They don't have to be the joke. And, like, the fact that it is a male character wearing a dress or something, like, how you handle that now, again, they should be just as accepted as everybody else who's on screen in whatever clothing they're wearing. And then you make better, smarter jokes unrelated to that person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn it.
I second that sentiment.
I mean, if you look at my screen right now, you can see what's happening. Is I was trying to, like, start putting in depth on this little silver part that I just created, and now suddenly it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to erase your gradient and leave this box here. And if you hit undo, I'm going to just get rid of the entire gradient.
Photoshop!
It has something to do with the stacking of layers, I think, and using adjustment layers and things. And once you put something above another layer, it just freaks out.
I've noticed lately that there have been a lot of problems with updates. Like, an update will come out and then suddenly I can't open a specific type of file a certain way and it won't crash. Because I was opening large stock footage for a video I was making for one of the places I work, and it's like businessy, so they require everything to be stock images. And they're trying to open a stock image that was large in Photoshop right now. And with the current update, it was like, nah, we're gonna close everything. I will open it so you can view it, but if you want to do anything inside of Photoshop, we're gonna crash. I'm like, but no. I just had to open them in different ways, like start a blank canvas and drag it in.
Oh, jeez.
And it was fine. But if I tried to just open that file in Photoshop, it was like, no.
I hear you, but no. I can't do that, Sarah. Squishbean says, unrelated, I just have to say, Sarah, I love your Celestia shirt. Very cool.
Well, thank you. I got it as a gift, so I don't know where to get it, but most of my t-shirts come from tfury.com or tturtle.com.
I'm wearing a T-Turtle one shirt too. Yeah.
Yes.
Love craft. I love crafting.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
They have so many good crafty shirts. I have one that has a fox on it, and it says, what?
Is it for fox sakes? Okay.
No, they do have a lot of those too.
That's the one I really want to get. Either no fox given or for fox sake, because whole mood.
All right, ponies. I think I've finally gotten it stitched together so that I can start painting.
All right. I think I'm going to eliminate one of these and see. I'm going to hide her. That hides. All right.
There you go, girls.
Okay. Why?
Oh.
Yes, you're practically programming a robot with that design.
I think it's asking him to.
Pretty much, yeah. I think I'm just going to have to simplify and collapse layers and paint like a real person and not cheat and use like 5,000 layers for highlights and different things.
Hate when Photoshop makes me paint like a real person.
Now are you going to be hateful? Oh, okay. That was the problem. Got it. But it's also the anxiety of, but what if I want to change this like one gradient in 5 minutes?
And not just have to start all over again.
Yeah. The shapes. They won't be shapes anymore.
All right. Well, one, make sure everybody stays. And two, I'm going to step away real quick, but I will be right back.
No, save.
You know, this time I'm actually doing something digital.
Oh, yeah.
To actually remember to save. Guess when Emily gets back, I can show my hour and 45-minute torture of putting together this image. Learn from my mistakes.
Spared no expense.
I just did that, remember?
Guess I can pull up some reference. I'm not used to being this far into the stream and not having all of my things going. Not having my reference ready.
Yeah, I felt the same way. because I had meant to like have a lot more of this blocked in, and it just did not happen this week.
You need to start saying no to things, which I actually did because I woke up and had a mini panic attack because I was like, am I going to have to start scheduling time to clean my own house because I don't have time to clean my own house?
Mm-hmm.
I never want just because I can't pick up my pants to be the reason why I have a breakdown.
Yeah, my boss called me yesterday at like 5:50. She's like, I'm so sorry to disturb you. Are you on your way out for like a party or anything? I'm like, oh gosh, no, I'm cleaning my room. You're fine. What do you need?
It's like, I appreciate that you think I have that much of a social life on a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone have plans for the holiday?
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Work. Then more work. Then different work.
My friend is, I guess, going to an all-you-can-eat sushi place this evening and invited me to come.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, it is out in Robinson, and I hate driving in Robinson. Since the last time I went on a holiday weekend, I almost got T-boned.
Sushi Bum?
Yes.
Yes, it's amazing.
And I was like, oh God, wait, but it's his birthday weekend. So I messaged him back and I'm like, wait, is this like a birthday thing? Am I going to be a jerk if I don't come? And he's like, I guess it's kind of a birthday thing, but I suck at making plans. I'm like, ah, damn it.
Can you meet at his
You just
place?
answered the question exactly how I did not want you to answer it.
Can you meet at his place and like not have to drive actually into Robinson?
Right.
Would be nice.
'Cause I agree.
But yeah.
I live pretty close to Robinson, and it's still not something I want to do on a regular basis.
Because when he first said it, I was like, oh, Sushi Tomo, because he lives over on the north side.
I remember Sushi Tomo.
Yeah.
There,
Nope, that's not that.
you should have just gone to Sushi Tomo today because I think it's there. Or no, next weekend. Next weekend is Sushi Tomo's like 20th anniversary or something.
Oh my gosh.
So they're gonna have a bubble tea truck. They're gonna do a bunch of cool stuff there.
Dude. You're killing
Just
me,
a
Sarah.
possible suggestion if you don't make it this weekend. You can be like, hey, make it up to you. Let's go to Sushi Tomo.
Or I could just be like, hey, we just went out on Thursday.
I like that it's just consistent across all the Pittsburgh people. Andy Mentor coming in and being like, I've always been terrified of Robinson.
It's awful. The layout up there is like the absolute worst layout for roads.
I'm sorry, is there any place in Pittsburgh or the surrounding neighborhoods of Pittsburgh that isn't laid out terribly? Like, that's kind of the thing. That's our running joke. Like, no, who designs a city this way? This is insanity.
Yeah, that is a very good fact.
You don't get the Pittsburgh left with someone turning really quickly in front of you when you have the right of way. You know, that was my first experience. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Traffic rules don't apply? And it's, okay, so is it left where you're almost making a U-turn back on yourself? Is it kind of like 90-degree left? Is it a kind of a straight but really a left? Like, which left do you be? Nowhere else. Nowhere else have I ever experienced this. I've driven in many cities. Nowhere else.
We are special.
Yeah.
Best city, obviously.
Well, I just loved like the year that the three of us were doing any of the the Pittsburgh Comic Cons out in Monroeville, and like getting from your apartment, like you'd have to go. Like it makes sense of how you get to the different highways, but it's also like literally took us like through a couple of really run down like just factory like sections, and like yeah, but this is then the weird road that you connect to then get on the highway. I'm like, what? But why?
Why are we going through Braddock? There's no reason.
I don't want to be here. Oh god.
Yeah. Braddock only sort of looked pretty rough then, like because there were a lot of buildings that were abandoned, and it's getting a facelift right now.
Yeah.
A lot of the housing, it's because it was like on the verge of being condemned. People were like, "Oh, let us come in and like renovate these houses," and now they're making them livable, and people can actually be in those spaces again.
Yeah. Which is good.
Fingers crossed they don't just like start selling them for a ridiculous amount of money.
Yep, that was literally the next thing I was going to say. Like, as long as you actually continue to let it be a livable area, even though you put a little money into renovating it, like, please do not price it out so that everybody has to leave because you're jerks.
So far, not so much. Our buddy's boss was actually considering getting a house there because it was so cheap, and he's like, "Then I'll have 2 houses, and I can go and visit Pittsburgh and be here." And then, you know, if I ever need to sell it, I'll just sell it because I'll make a profit even if I don't sell it for that much more.
Yeah.
Because they want people to buy these houses. So fingers crossed it's people who are doing it for the right reasons.
Oh, that's what I could do. Okay. Kind of. Oh, nice. PNG. Sweet.
We like those.
I do like PNGs. There's a great heartbreak in the like something looking like a PNG and looking like it's gonna have, you know, no white background, and then you drag it in, and not only is it not a PNG, but it doesn't have a white background, it has a checkerboard background, and you're just like, that's so much worse. If it was just the white background, I could delete it myself, but now I have to go in if I really want it and either erase everything or like hand select each checkerboard. I hate it. Hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you do that to me? Right. Nope.
Oh, I've been really lazy and not actually typing out Twilight on my layers. It's white
Close
for
enough.
all of them. How did I make that mistake for 4 different layers? Oh no, those 2 are right. Okay. Can't read. I can't write today.
It's Saturday.
And I did it to myself. I actually went to bed at like 12:30 last night, so
Nice.
it's not a normal Sarah bedtime. at all.
Yeah, I was thinking I was fine, and then I passed out on the couch for 2 hours yesterday, and I was like, apparently we weren't fine. Apparently we required more sleep. Oops. Also, the weather here has been so strange lately. Like, it was really super painfully hot in my apartment for a while, and like I had all the doors and windows open, and I could only cool it down to like 76. High of today is like, we're at 48 right now. Who knows? What is weather? What up, VO by Kurt? Hiya. Welcome.
Yeah, it's 51 in Pittsburgh and rainy.
Yeah, super rainy here too. All right.
I will be right back.
Okay. Who expected Pittsburgh to be rainy? For most of a holiday weekend? That is unheard of. That is crazy talk.
It never does that. Well, that wasn't what I wanted, but sure. Sure. Thank you, Diana. Literally the sassiest horse I've ever seen in a digital medium. I love it. He's so sassy. Thank you, though. Humongous Rainbow Bite fangirl. But Kurt, I was going to ask you, how was your Saturday morning? Did you guys record and stream today? Also, Diana, you are in very good company because, I don't live there anymore. Everybody here is we'll say, either currently residing in Pittsburgh or we all went to college there. Or, I don't think I realized. You said you grew up in Pittsburgh?
Yep, never left except for a couple of years at WVU.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know. I always thought you were one of the Ohio contingent. I don't there's no reason for it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I never knew the dorms at the Art Institute because I always commuted.
Okay.
My home was very near. 45-minute drive anyway.
Yeah.
Into town.
Yes, Diana, I have watched a little bit of the new She-Ra, but literally everything we talked about at the beginning of the show, Emily is terrible about getting caught up on shows, even when she's really enjoying. So it's on the list, and I just need to sit my ass down and watch it. Okay.
It's wonderful. I love everything about
it. Me too.
Super love it. I still need to finish the reboot of Voltron, which I was loving. It's not, no, it is an excuse, but I've realized that, especially with Voltron, because it's an art style I love so much, I want to sit and watch it because I like how it looks and it's really enjoyable and I don't want to be drawing during it. But simultaneously, it inspires me so much to draw because I like the art so much that I can't not draw. And then I end up not doing either thing. And I don't watch it and I don't draw. And I'm just like, what are you doing though?
I've gotten into the habit of not being able to watch new things because I can't justify not doing art at the same time.
Yep.
I don't want to watch something new that I have to pay attention to, like The Boys. I tried to watch the first episode of The Boys 4 times, and I was also drawing at the same time, and I'm like, I need to just sit down and watch this because especially the first 10, 15 minutes, so much happens.
So much happens.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do both at the same time. So it's on my list. I want to watch it.
I say Let's Plays for my drawing while watching.
That's a good idea.
Usually, this the Game Grumps compilations or Jacksepticeye.
Randall
and
got me into Drawfee.
Yeah. But again, same thing. Like, I like listening to them because they're funny. But at the same time, like, if I'm going to draw, like, it's a weird, especially when I'm drawing on my tablet, because I'll have it open. So I either open it in, like, a window on my laptop that I can then watch out of the corner of my eye, but I'll catch myself watching a lot and not drawing. And I was like, what are you doing? Good. You're supposed, the whole point of this was you were supposed to work, and now you're not working. And
And of course, God forbid we ever listen to music while animating, because we're not smart enough for that, right?
No, my brain is super not. Oh, it's so funny. It came up recently on a chat we were having, and I was like, no, I have to have very specific stuff for anything that had to do with timing, because if I was listening to and this has actually worked its way into my comics too, like if I'm listening to like really intense, really heavy, like metal stuff, like it affects how I pace my pages. And I was like, nope. This is a calm scene where two characters are talking to each other. Like, you're up here. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down a bit. So
yeah. All the books say that. All the teachers really taught that, but I personally had never saw the connection there because I math everything out on paper, and so I'm like, okay, because in this, and to me, the math does not change from my perception of the math. I don't know.
I think it was always that, like, the initial stage. Like, like you said, once my timing was set, then it was, then it was good. But like to try and, I don't know if it's just like the background in dance, like to hear the beat of the music, I could never separate that from like the beat of counting out my animations.
True, yeah.
But also, again, there's a reason I don't animate much anymore because I was better at other things.
Yep. I think about it every now and then, and I'm like, that would be a really fun project to do. And no, then I talk myself out of it before I even start. And then I give myself a pat on the back because I realize that there are much better things I could do than flail and pump out a really awkward, bad animation.
I spent so much time just trying to get into a studio or something that I realize I'd be just happier if I got something done myself. And it's take a while, but I just want to say that it was worth it.
Yeah.
I wish I was better at animation, but it's just not in my skill set.
Yeah.
Well,
And I think too, with my like coming to the realization that I liked comics more, it was obviously, like when we were in college, I could sit down and grind through an animation because you had to, because you were getting graded and you needed to graduate. But like now, especially when I was working a full-time job and then doing my comics in addition to that, like you gotta love it. And there were times where I was like, even though I was exhausted and I didn't want to do it, like I was still very happy to make comics. And like that was my like, oh, this is the thing. This is the thing where you're just like, no, it doesn't matter that you're doing a lot of other stuff. You're still making time for this. So this is probably the thing you actually really like doing.
mm-hmm.
But, my brain's dumb.
So what I originally wanted to go for was for comics and be a graphic design major. And then Hans Westman's like, no, you should do animation. Yeah, that would be cool. You can do, and then they trained out all the illustrative skills to make it simpler and animatable.
I had so I had so many moments where like I wish I wish there had been more options for the 2D side of things, whether it was storyboarding, whether it was character design, like, and it was nothing against our 3D classes. Like, no, for the industry at the time, that was a smart place to go with it. I just was crap at it and I hated it. Like, all I wanted to do was sit in the animation lab and draw. Like, I didn't want to take another 3D class. I'm like, I'm not getting better. Like, I'm so bad at this. I'm never going to get a job as this, and I don't like doing it.
And as much technical skills that we learned, I ended up with a portfolio that I did not like because I had so little time to actually do my own work complete.
Yeah.
I've so much of my stuff I went through at the end of my term was just, oh, this is an exercise that the teacher gave us, and very little of it has to do with our own skill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My graduation portfolio is so embarrassing. Like that, I mean, I have moments where I'm just like, oh my God, my old art is so bad. But there's something about that one, like, you're 20 years old, you just spent 3 years getting a degree, and this is your portfolio. Like, I'm real mean to my 20-year-old self for that one, because I was just like, this is crap. What were you doing? But.
I agree.
Yeah, I found mine yesterday when I was cleaning my room, and I was looking through it, and I'm like, oh, no. Nope.
What is it? 3 p.m.? Where's the wine? I need to start drinking.
I used to have my reel on YouTube. I don't show anybody. I removed it. I don't want to show employers that anymore. It's not even...
And I don't want them to find it. Like, not just I don't want to show them. I don't want them to be like, oh, I searched for a SWAT named Emily and I found your, demo reel from college. I'm like, 1, how? And 2, like, no. Don't. That was almost 15 years ago. Don't do that. Excuse me.
That was the cutest whatever that was ever.
Thank you. I did that at the winery the other day, and one of the gentlemen at the bar, he was like, I think, bless you, but that was precious. And I'm like, yeah, it's like a hiccup and a burp, and I don't know why I do it, but it's a thing that I make, and it just comes out as a squeak. And he's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, bye. Don't mind me. All right, let's fix this horse, because this is not a good horse.
So I learned in the past couple days since we watched Rescue at Midnight Castle, that Sandy Duncan does and Tony Randall did a big starring vocals for that made-for-TV My Little Pony movie.
Really?
Sandy Duncan was Firefly.
That's kind of nuts.
And she sings.
I think it's funny how many of those like made-for-TV movies of that era had singing in them. Like, they're not musicals, but just for some reason, like, we're gonna sing now. This is a thing.
This is for children. We must sing.
We must sing. That's how we communicate with them.
I'm Disney. They started it.
Yeah, they kind of did. But I mean, you know, I will always be very happy about, you know, Alan Menken in my life and Randy Newman and oh my gosh, why am I blanking out? Oingo Boingo, the guy who did is that Randy
Danny
Newman?
Elfman.
Danny Elfman.
Danny
Thank you. I was like, I know it's
Danny
not like that trio. So good.
I was just talking about Oingo Boingo yesterday, the day before. I had people who didn't know who Oingo Boingo was, and I'm like, oh, yes, you do. Weird Science. That song.
Yep.
You've heard that song. I know you have.
Yeah, because I feel like you can't get away with it. If you've literally been in a grocery store that was playing classic rock, you've definitely heard it.
Or people who say they don't know who Danny Elfman is, and I'm like, have you seen The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah.
The Simpsons? You know his stuff.
I was gonna say he is everywhere. It's one of those where like you know him even if you don't actually know him, because he's just fingerprints all over all the things.
It's like Harry Nielsen. No one knows who Harry Nielsen is, but he did Lime and a Coconut. There's no way you've gone your entire life without hearing the Lime and the Coconut. Or One is the Loneliest Number, like the song One. I think Jessica Simpson covered it, but not to beat his Swedish pipes.
Yeah. I know, he's a crazy talented guy.
I seriously committed myself to drawing all of them. I cannot believe that I did that. I want to start coloring on time switching modes. Can't be.
I did the same thing with the Smash Brothers characters.
Oh gosh.
But I only did the originals, not the.
Yeah, but even as you're saying that, I only did the originals. There were so many characters on that sheet, like it was still a lot of work. Oh no, Andy Mentor, what would you categorize Weird Science as? Not classic rock? Like prog rock? I guess I was making it very general. It appears on the classic rock station, but also like Green Day's there now, so nothing makes sense and hurts me. So I'm like, is Green Day classic rock? I don't think you are, but
No, I don't know how I feel about that, but now Weezer is considered dad music. Like Weezer and Avril Lavigne, and I'm like, that hurts.
no.
But the guys who are dads now are our age, and they listened to Green Day and Weezer and
The new wave. New wave. No, that's fair. I definitely agree with new wave. Yeah, I think it's just like kind of like Sarah said, it's beginning into like classic rock has just become like literally whatever the dads are listening to. Because like I think The Cure plays on like classic rock channels, and I was like, they're definitely not classic rock. But
at least not in the definition that we have grown up thinking, like AC/DC and Tom Petty and Led Zeppelin and
Yep.
I could keep going. None of them seem to fit with the stuff that is now in that bucket.
Yep.
It's okay. I guess if more people are still listening to that music,
Yes.
I'm okay with it being categorized however they want it to be.
I will say the thing that I get really weird about is when like whatever is the current pop music sampling like, oh gosh, now I can't remember the artist who did it. Oh, it was hang on. Let me get the song first and then I'll come back to Is this actually it? Show me the images. Yes. I think this is it. Yeah, so it was YNW Melly, and it was the song is Suicidal, and it was hang on. Damn all those beautiful girls. And I was like, it was so weird to me because it was an older, like 50s, 60s era song that was sampled to make it. And it was just like, I think it's cool that you're pulling from that, but at the same time, like, they're like, oh, this brand new thing. And I'm like, but it's not brand new. It came from an old song. And I'm just so sad you're not going to remember that it came from this old song. Does it matter at all? No. It matters to me.
Everyone's saved because Photoshop just crashed on me.
Ow. Yeah, Nicole. Kids these days and their resampled music.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. I wasn't. Oh, no. It saved a lot more than I thought it did. It just took a little bit of time for all the layers to load. Oh, that's good.
I think this is just the stream where Photoshop sees if it can break Sarah and Randall. Like, I think this is the one.
Oh.
Don't you get any ideas, Clip Studio? I'm watching you.
Okay, if I took a picture of it, it was huge. I just resized, so it's at a normal canvas size and not 50 inches by 50 inches. That's not, I don't need it to be that big.
Well, again, talking about jumping back and forth between vector and bitmap, like, because I was spending so much time in CorelDRAW, I could make stuff really big and do a lot of move around. And like, I would jump over to Photoshop or a bitmap program, and not that I was trying to work that big, but like I would forget, and I would start to just like add all these layers and do all these different things. And all of a sudden the program's like, I'm sorry, what? No, I'm not going to do any of that. Are you insane? I'm like, oh, you're right. Nope, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, I probably lost about a minute's worth of work. So
Oh, good.
much better than what I anticipated because I couldn't remember the last time I saved. I get into the habit of doing it enough that it's like, sometimes it's second nature. So just like, oh, it's been on a new layer, save. That I either don't realize that I haven't saved, like, of course I saved. Like my brain either does it a lot or doesn't do it at all.
Yep.
No in between.
Yep. Nope. There's no middle ground on that. I am neurotically good about it, or I will draw. There was one piece on Doodle Crew. I think I was almost done with it, and I was like, I have not saved this yet. That was dumb. That was so dumb. You did that. All right.
This is definitely a day of learn from my mistakes. Also, I do think one thing Adobe has been doing better is making recovery files for you.
Yeah.
It saved my butt several times.
That's better. Yeah, I will say Corel really good at that. Clip Studio not as much either. I don't have it correctly enabled, or Yeah, if it actually crashes on me, I will get hurt.
The only thing with the Photoshop autosave, though, is you kind of have to create a document first.
Yeah, that's true.
Because sometimes I'll start and I'll just be like in an untitled document doing stuff for a while. And then it's like I start laying stuff out and then I decide, oh, I should create a file and save it. But if I accidentally crash the program before that happens, then oops, no recovery for you.
Joke's on you, we saved nothing.
I wonder if that is a setting that can be changed, because I don't do that very often, go in and adjust settings for things like that.
No, I should. I absolutely should. I don't. I remember, like, I watched the YouTube video that talked about how you could increase the number of undos back through your history and all of that thing, and it wasn't a hard thing to change. Watched the video, didn't do it for a really, really long time until there came a time where I was so mad about something that I ended up doing it.
I think it might have been for 3D Studio Max, but there was a way you could like have unlimited undos. And I'm like, why isn't the default?
Seriously.
But I think it probably does take up a fair amount of memory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I was running into when the laptop that I had was starting to die. Like, having the autosave feature was great, except for it would cause the computer to chug so much that it was then like, it would be processing so much that there was a good chance that the program would close if I didn't catch myself before I like tapped on the tablet again or something. And then it would crash and I would lose everything anyways. And I'm like, the thing that was supposed to save me is now hurting me. Also decided today that I'm just going to completely forget how to draw horses, and yeah, I'm just going to really mess it up. Fine.
That's me every day. I can never draw horses.
Drawing them cartoony is impressive because when I see, I'm like, I want to draw a horse, I go right to the life drawing version, and then I'm like, oh, this kind of stands out with my cartoony rider, and it's anatomically correct because I can't draw them without the correct anatomy for some reason.
I think that's part of it is I can't talk anymore. Part of it is that you have to know how that horse works because they are such a strange shape.
Yeah, and especially like their legs and their knees and their ankles, like all of those, like it's real weird. And if you don't get it right, like even if you're simplifying it, like it reads as incorrect. But oh gosh, yeah, it's just horses. Why?
Watching My Little Pony over again, those animators had to draw them all the time, and they just started making their legs like amorphous, weird blobs after a while. And I'm like, I understand. You don't have a huge budget when you're doing a TV show.
Yeah.
And they're kind of extra weird looking in specifically My Little Pony Friends. The made-for-TV movie, a little bit better, but they tried to give them horse anatomy.
Yeah, which nope.
They actually looked like tiny ponies.
Also, I was looking up a couple of reference images of the horse from Rainbow Bright, and to say that he looks like a horse is a stretch. Like we were creative with some of the anatomy that we used for this horse. So I'm feeling a little bit better about that. Oh, yeah. Okay. Bring back my reference images. Nope.
Ooh. The Rainbow Bright song stuck in my head now.
I have a My Little Pony one in my head. Because there's always another rainbow.
Just because I was trying to remember the name of Starlight, I was like, oh, yeah, that's it.
Rainbow bright, see the shining light. It's so catchy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They all were.
It really, like, whoever was writing like the cartoon intros at that time, like the music for them was really just on another level.
Yeah. Now, Gem was one of the shows that I didn't watch. Probably should. I watched it later, and it's like, I probably would have liked it, but I guess the idea that it was the girls' show that I shouldn't be watching, I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
But I always have to stay for the theme song because it was just so catchy.
Yeah. No,
So
there
I
was
remember
a
that.
incredible amount of marketing that went into which were the girls' shows and which were the boys' shows and which ones you were supposed to be watching. But...
Then I watched them all.
I remember watching like Transformers and stuff like that, but then I was always more interested with watching Gem with my cousins.
Yeah.
And Care Bears and like all that.
Well, I think Care Bears was one that was marketed to both girls and boys. But
Yes.
the toys themselves were strangely like, that's a girl's toy.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon when you watch it. They're helping boys and girls, and there was no distinction.
Even Rainbow Bright had Buddy Blue, and I forget what the green boy's name was.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the color kids' names very well, but also like in one of the movies, like you have the actual like the boy named Chris who has the robot horse and all that, and then you have the human Brian. So when she's in the human world, she interacts with him. Why do I still remember their names? They're not real boys. They're cartoon boys, but I remember them because I liked both of them very much. Yep. But I always really liked Stormy was one of the other like antagonists in the show. Not antagonist, but she was a kind of a foil for Rainbow Bright because she had the horse that could create storms and stuff, and obviously, not rainbows and sunshine. So, but she had purple hair.
You need that rain for those rainbows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she was salty about not being the sunshine one.
I wonder where they brought that in any other cartoon that we may be watching. It just wrapped up. I haven't watched the final season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic yet. So no one spoil any of the goodies that come in the last, 14 episodes. I want to watch it, but I'm also afraid for it to be over.
Yep.
That show helped me through the pandemic.
Yeah.
When I didn't want to listen to the terrible things happening in the outside world, I escaped to Equestria. And it was like a warm blanket.
Absolutely. What up, Simkin? Hi, friends. Oh, I've been missing some. Oh, nice. So Diana says she met the voice actor of Spike from the 1980s My Little Pony, Charlie Adler.
He's my favorite voice actor.
She says, I acted like a big old goof too. Walked up to him in Anthrocon and was like, spiky wakey, like I was 5. Yep. I
Did
get
he
it.
do the voice for you? I feel like he would be the type of person that would instantaneously do the voice. Like if you walked up and said, "Oh, babe, what?" He would instantly go into chicken.
Yeah, I met Michael Sinter Nicholas at KatsuCon one year. He wasn't even supposed to be there, but I was in my Dean Venture cosplay, and I was
Oh,
very excited to go up and meet him. And he was cool. We got pictures with him.
that's awesome.
I feel like if any voice actor would be cool with you calling him by his characters, it would be Charlie Adler. Especially for one that like early in his career.
Yeah, there has to be, well, in my estimation, there has to be something really cool about someone who knows your career, especially from back, like when you're doing really early work and is still excited about it. Oh, this is amazing. So Raging Lady Boner grew up in the South in a, we'll say, I think, fairly conservative religious home. And says, I have this book that my parents read and believed when I was a kid that says Rainbow Bright, Care Bears, and My Little Pony are a part of the occult. Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Hail Satan.
because they wanted you to love everyone. I feel like that was the theme was
Yep.
love.
Yep. And Sipkin, you hit the nail on the head for what we're doing today. It was their hidden messages and the things, and the message was buy toys, and that's what we are doing today. Well, and there's something really cool about being a kid, being so uninhibited with your imagination and having like a figurine of a character that you love that you can then play with and tell your own stories in your head. Like, I miss the unbridled imagination that little kid me had. Like, I can't remember any of the stories that I used to take my Barbies on, but they were epic. And like, things happened with the ponies, and then there was this and that, and like, there was so much happening, and I had built myself such a like fleshed out real world in my brain, and I miss that. I miss being so open to inspiration and imagination like that, and not having my adult brain be like, that's not how it really happened. I was like,
Yes. If I could play D&D with anyone, it would be with my 8-year-old self.
yeah.
Oh,
Yep. It's something I really love about teaching middle schoolers, because they're right at that edge where they're starting to get pushed into like high school and adult, and like, you've got to not be serious, but like you're not as encouraged to be a kid anymore.
Mhm.
But they still have it, like it's still there, and especially the artsy ones, like they're still tapping into that. And I think that's why anime speaks to so many of them, because it's still that like heightened, exaggerated worlds and crazy imagination. And yeah, some of the stuff they come up with is just incredible. And they're like, no, this is stupid. I'm like, no, it's hilarious and I love it and I want you to keep doing it. But if you don't want to keep doing it, that's okay. But I still gotta love it.
How many teachers in my middle school just yelled at me for drawing in class? That was the time of my life where I was the most discouraged to do anything.
Which just breaks my heart.
Anything.
It just breaks my heart.
Part of me wants to go back to all of the people who were always negative in those aspects in my life and anyone's life, and I just want to like give them the middle finger and be like, you're the reason why dreams don't come true.
For real.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have been paying attention in math class, but I would work ahead so that I could doodle in the margins of my notes.
Yep. Yep. Well, and it's the, like, I get it. And I get it that art isn't the career for everybody and that there are things you need to pay attention to be successful in your life. But at the same time, like, the idea that it has to be all one thing or all the other. Like, you either have to completely devote yourself to art and accept that you're never going to learn these other things and get yelled at by your teachers, or, completely dismiss art. And I was like, I think it's actually better if you get the balance of both. And, like, you find ways to celebrate art in math class and in science class and in English class. And it's there if you want it. And then if you want to do more with it, it can. And they can actually work together.
Well, that's not how the world works.
I know.
Never, ever.
But Rainbow Bright, let me believe that there was a beautiful world out there. There's a beautiful world. She gave me such high expectations. Yeah. But I try in my, very small reach that I have for the few students that I do get to interact with, whether they want to do art full time or they just want it to be a fun hobby. Like, I want them to remember that it's valid, and if it brings them joy, then you should keep doing it. That should be the end of that.
But it sparks
joy. Yes, Andy Mentor. I'm a crazy communist. Art is for everyone. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Simkin is saying they were listening to a program that said adults who ate cereals with mascots they enjoyed were more likely to buy them for their kids and think of them as nutritious, even if they were told about the effects of advertising. Yeah, I could see that.
I still buy them for myself because they're delicious.
Yeah, I'm not buying them for their nutritional value. I'm buying them because they're delicious.
Occasionally, Honey Nut Cheerios, I will convince myself is not just full of sugar. It is bad. It kind of still is. If it makes your milk taste like sugar water, it probably has too much sugar in it.
Yeah.
It's part of a balanced breakfast, according to the lies on the box.
Oh my gosh, I know. They used to push cereal so hard. And then, like, as an adult, I'm like, oh no, this is actually a really bad thing for us to be eating. Like, pushing to be eaten every morning. It's fine. It's all
fine. Back in my day, they used to tell us cancer sugar was great for breakfast. Every day. Just soak it up.
Yep. Oh, God. I was having a... Go ahead.
The serving size of cereal is much smaller than you usually think it should be.
It's so small. Like, yep. I remember having, like, big bowls of cereal and being like, I could eat another one. And then looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, I ate like half my calorie intake for the day in those 2 bowls of cereal. Oh. Yeah. Cereals and pancakes and fruit and the oat shea.
Mm.
Yeah. The sausage links and the bacon and all of it. I was just like, oh my gosh. Also, I was never that hungry before school. I don't want to eat any of that.
What's scary is the bacon actually might not really be the worst thing on the table.
Yeah.
You're getting real protein, at least in that bacon.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so I am going to give us the like half an hour warning to wrap up. I know I'm not going to be done. I don't know that any of us will be done, but we should probably, again, as we've been talking about food, like we should all eat lunch and stretch and get up and move around.
For sure. Glad I decided to color some of this because I'm actually liking how that looks.
Awesome. I mean, the style works great. Like it is super, super cute.
Absolutely. It's very adventure time.
Yeah. I could just see that this artist doing a rendition of the Thundercats.
Yeah. What layer did I even color that on? Are you kidding me right now?
I feel like you can say that, like any of us that can quote that at any given day, at any given time.
Oh, also, thank you, Simkin. So I don't think you saw earlier, I'm actually trying to mock it up as if he's in action figure packaging to really sell home the watch the cartoon, buy our stuff message.
And my theme is the constant remakes that happen with your favorite shows.
Yeah.
Never really capture the original nostalgia but you know, they're nice.
Well, and like we talked about with specifically Thundercats and specifically Voltron, I think they managed to walk that really brilliant line of we are paying homage to the original, but we are also telling our own story. Like it's not just like taking the same plot lines and updating them. Like we are giving thought to these characters and like building the world, and I think it's that much more enjoyable because of it. But I think those two are kind of unique in doing that really well.
Mm-hmm.
At least for ones I've watched.
Which makes it hurt extra bad that the Thundercats reboot from 2011 got canceled before they could like really fully flesh out that story that they were building.
Yep.
Yeah. The new one's called Thundercats Roar, which looks like Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't too fond of Teen Titans Go. It's just I started watching. Like, nope, doesn't look like this is going to be the same as Teen Titans at all.
Which there are things that I do like about Teen Titans Go is because it's getting kids who would not normally have looked into watching the original Teen Titans show into watching it. So
yes,
it's as much as it's not a show for me, I realized that my nephew was like, this was a show before this. Can I watch it? And my sister's like, yeah, let me find out where I can find it.
Yeah.
And showed it to him and was like, this show I watched as a kid. And he's like, this is a good show. Like it opened the door for new fans to become fans of the old content.
Yep. And then you have the benefit of, like, and the bonus of, there's a whole bunch of comics you can read if you want, and then there's a whole bunch of extended universe, like animated movies that have them, and all these other things that you can enjoy.
Well, we're talking about nostalgia. I have to make a new recommendation. for a book that I just recently finished that was so... It was a completely new story. However, it made me feel the same way I felt the first time I watched Harry Potter or the first time I played Pokemon. The book's called Ash Ridley and the Phoenix by Lisa
Okay.
Foyles. And it's just a great story overall. Classic story. Girl from low beginnings finds a baby phoenix and ends up in a school where they teach you how to train magical creatures to fight. And you just see every kind of magical creature you'd think to see. A kitsune, a dragon, a manticore, and then some that I swear were just D&D monsters, like the Growlon. And they're there, and you're like, what are these doing? I know what that is. This is fun. And the story just came out so good in the end, and I can't recommend it enough. Lisa Foyles was on all that a few years back, and she just wrote her first book.
That's awesome. And like as you're describing it, I'm like, oh man, it is all of these things that I like independently, and you mashed them together, and there's a good chance I'm going to enjoy that.
So I want to describe it as Harry Potter meets Pokemon, but then again, there are certain parts of those series that I don't like that I like about this, because they're all mythical creatures that have existed in mythology.
Yeah, that's rad.
You've never read of the fabled Pikachu in Greek mythology?
Yeah, it's special in itself with Pikachu, but you also think about the limitations of the technology back with Game Boy. You couldn't have like actual physics or anything. It was almost like they were inventing physics in these games, because there were only 8 bits to work with.
Yeah.
So whenever they continued on, the mechanics don't update very well.
Yeah, some of what they were able to translate through animation, through like pixel animation that only had a couple of different frames. Like, I have so much respect for that, because I was like, no, you were literally working with like the most limited thing that you could, and you had to communicate this action or this movement, and like it hurts my brain. Even as someone who knows how to do it, I'm just like, no, can't.
Yeah. It's like, wouldn't have the morphing ball in Metroid if it wasn't for the fact that the original programmers didn't know how to make Samus crawl. So they, all right, she's gonna just duck twice and then morph into a ball.
Aha! Brilliant. Oh, yes, and I had read it, and then I didn't say it out loud. Squish Beans was saying that your piece, Idaho, looks very Bravest Warriors.
Oh yeah, Bravest Warriors too.
Yeah.
Which, for some reason, I don't think about. Even, like, I know it, and it's good, but it's just, like, it doesn't come to my brain as fast as Adventure Time does, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Adventure
It was
Time.
never on TV.
Yeah. And it had so many seasons and so many more characters.
Mm.
And each episode is an actual episode's length, whereas Bravest Warriors is here's 4.5 minutes of crazy.
Yeah.
Try to understand what's happening on the screen.
Good luck.
So I've definitely watched through all of Bravest Warriors multiple times, and sometimes I'm still like, I can't explain it to you. You just have to like
Yeah.
watch it and let your brain melt a little. It's like if you concentrated Adventure Time down. Like a
Okay.
whole 30-minute episode and was like, can we get the silly randomness of an episode of Adventure Time boiled down to 4 minutes? That's what you get. And I can't watch a bunch of episodes in a row because it makes my brain hurt.
Oh no, that's different. What are you doing? All right, so it goes red. All right. Enjoy with this as I've been coloring. Like some of it follows the traditional rainbow color order, but some of it doesn't, and there's no rhyme or reason to which pieces do and which pieces don't. What are you doing? Sorry. Just looking at like I love the fact like I again love this show. But if you look at Sailor Moon Cheapers, Rainbow Bright, very similar. From like a design perspective, she is the most like warped, oddly shaped little creature. And I was just like, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. She's got, peanuts proportions.
I totally see Rainbow Bright redone as like a Sentai Masters series.
And I would
But
watch the
let me
shit
guess.
out of that. Oh my gosh, with all the Color Kids transformations? Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh. Again, Randall, I was like, this is a project that'd be super fun to do. And then we started animating. We're like, we've made a terrible mistake. What have we No.
Yeah, in that style of Sailor Moon.
Wait, what? There was a Rainbow Bright reboot in 2014? Seriously?
Yep. I watched some of it.
How did I miss all of this? No, I mean, that's not surprising. Hi, you've met me. I miss everything. But I feel like it's not in the cultural consciousness at all.
No, not really, because I had the same thought when I saw it the other day, and I mentioned that all of our series that we're doing have reboots of some sort. And I was like, wait, does Rainbow Bright? Oh my god, it does, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
I watched it while living with you.
Well, you didn't talk about it, so you failed. As Oliver Queen would say, you have failed this city, Sarah.
Oh. You didn't say it angry enough to be Oliver Queen.
Oh, sorry. You have failed this city. There you go.
Oh, it's so good.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. And in Japan, she's called Magical Girl Rainbow Bright. So she's a magical girl like Sailor Moon, which makes complete sense. Mm-hmm. Oh, so the 2014 Rainbow Bright reboot had 1 season of 3 episodes. All right. I'm feeling less bad about missing that then, because...
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought I just missed some. That like I got on the train and I was waiting for the rest of it and forgot about it and started watching something else. Because I started watching it right away. So sorry, I did think there was a whole series that I just only watched like 3 episodes of.
Let's bring your little head up a little bit more. There we go. Well, that should be. Hey, everyone, that's going to be the thing that I get through. I think I can probably manage 3 episodes of rebooted Rainbow Bright. I can probably catch up on that. We're just setting that bar real low. It's fine.
I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to catch up on old, like, things that I missed that I should have started watching when they were coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really excited because I was like, oh man, Fruits Basket's new. And
Yeah.
it's like a year or 2 old now, but I'm like, I'm going to catch up on this anime. This is going to be great. And I sat down to watch it, and I'm like, they didn't get to any new content, and there are only a couple episodes left because I just started on episode 1, and I was getting close to episode however many that are in a season, and I'm like, I thought they were doing the whole story. How are they going to fit more? And then I realized there are 3 seasons, and I was 3 seasons behind and not just 1 season behind. That felt really terrible. But also now I get to wait. I didn't binge through all of it, and there's so more to come.
So they're taking, like, oh my gosh, as I was about to say, I was like, what? The original Fruits Basket wasn't that old. But I was like, I'm pretty sure I was watching that in college, so it's almost 20 years old. Yeah. So they took that same thing and rebooted it, or they rebooted it again off of, like, the manga?
It's based off the manga. Okay. So it's actually, like, the full story now. You get to see all the Zodiac characters. They're not just making up shit to fill episodes because the manga wasn't done yet.
I'll tell you what, though, that original anime, I loved it so much. Like, Fruits Basket landed real hard for me.
When they brought back the original cast.
Oh, that's nice.
That's how I found out about it. They talked about it on Critical Role. Oh. Is the main character.
Sneaky.
I was like, I would have. But then, like 2 days later, Randall's like, guess what they're rebooting? So I would have found out either way, but I happened to find out through Critical Role.
Damn Matthew Mercer.
Your pretty hair.
Ruining everybody's fun.
Beautiful voice.
And his silky hair.
He's got great hair. So Dell asked us, did we see that the live action Powerpuff reboot pilot is being quote unquote reworked?
Oh.
And I will admit that I've not followed anything with it. But
I saw some stuff, and first of all, why? Why do we need a live action version of Powerpuff Girls? Second of all, the CW, really? Like, you're going to try and make it edgy, and no, you can't do that with Powerpuff Girls.
I mean, you can do it to a third of the degree. Let Buttercup be as edgy as she wants, but that's it. Bubbles has got to be a little girl who colors in a coloring book and wants to hug the monsters and not fight them, but then kind of punch them anyway because they're monsters and they're bad.
Well, too bad, because now they're going to want to have sex with all the monsters because they're all hot.
No! Childhood is ruined.
You know that's going to be the case. It's the CW. They hire nothing but pretty people. They're like, hey, remember Riverdale? We're going to sex it up. Archie's going to be having sex with the teacher.
Okay, I didn't watch it, but that's how I know.
Don't.
They did sex up
I
Sabrina.
don't like it.
They sexed up Sabrina.
Yeah.
Which I was okay with most of that series. First season, great. The rest was.
I heard it was pretty good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There were certain things that were done really well. There were some weird choices made in places, but
yeah.
Overall, I enjoyed it. I am one of the. I think I have an unpopular opinion where I don't like Nick Scratch. But
Yeah, you have an unpopular opinion because he's the hottest guy on the show.
that's fine. But he's terrible.
As a character, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not opposed to him being a hot guy. No, that's fine.
That is totally
Like-
acceptable.
Decisions in the when it, surrounding him were not good.
Angie Mentor coming in with the CW is why teen pregnancy is a thing.
Oh,
It's just, oh god. Oh, oh gosh.
I can neither confirm or deny that fact. We've seen the Winchesters.
oh yeah.
Yeah. They're
I'm a
pretty.
mean girl.
To
I'm
be
a
fair,
victim.
I fell in love with both of them before they were Winchesters. I fell in love with them on Gilmore Girls and Smallville.
I thought you were going to say General Hospital.
No.
Oh, I wonder if my mom was still watching when they were. Was it General Hospital?
Dr. Sexy.
MD.
Oh, funny. Okay, so if we want to get to good stopping places.
I did not finish the rainbow. I mean, I did finish.
All I wanted to say, because I've been so programmed, was taste the rainbow, because that's what advertising is in my brain. Speaking of really weird ad campaigns.
Oh yeah. I am glad that they used. Oh no, Rainbow, help me. Trail Luaus. But it's
Nathan
it's
Barnett.
actually- yes. I'm glad that he got to actually do candy commercials because of his fake Skittles commercials. And Skittles gave him a Skittles boombox.
Okay. Sarah, are you able to share your screen so we can see your stuff? Or
Sure. I already admitted I did not finish the rainbow.
neither did I.
The theme of the day.
Well, you have 3 days until Pride Month, so that's your deadline.
Okay.
I might be able to handle that. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. This one. Share. Make
Yeah.
You select. All right. Can I do the thing? No, this one. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that's looking so cool.
So in this movie, the T-Rex is kidnapping ponies and turning them into monsters so that they can pull his chariot, and he's going to use the Rainbow of Darkness to make everything evil and dark. And the ponies are trying to stop him. They go to visit the Moochick, Tony Randall, and he gives them the Rainbow of Light to fight the Rainbow of Darkness. And they have to break their way into T-Rock's castle to defeat him. And Spike is there and he helps them.
Aw.
Oh,
That's so cute. That turned out so good. I'm very excited to see this one.
That's
yeah, I
really-
want-
Really, really fun.
I want it to be done. Like, I wanted to at least have all the colors in before showing. That did not happen. That's okay. Someday I'll have all the colors.
Someday I will finish art on a timely schedule.
I usually do. That's why I'm so disappointed. It's because I'm making things bigger and bigger.
I was gonna say the last couple ones, like you're like, well, I could do this, or I could do this.
Or I could be crazy.
I could be crazy. I think that's the theme for all of us. All right. So where can people find you if they want to see more of your craziness?
Social media, swill182 at tumblr.com. My website, sarahwilldesign.com. I try to post my art. Doodle Crew's helping.
Yay! Yes, and also shameless plug for us. If you cannot remember the locations of which artists tell you to find their stuff, definitely go to our link tree because we have all of those humans listed there. And you can or again, as always, if anybody in chat ever wants to know how to contact an artist, just hit me up. I will happily put you in touch with them. So Idaho, let's highlight yours so everyone can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They're
getting
so
there. I will finish
handy.
this one eventually. So I was eventually going to get either the Ice King or the Lich, probably close to the Lich King design, but I don't have a reference of him put up at the moment. As Mumra in the background.
I like it.
I do too. That's great.
I love it.
Honestly,
I think I'm going to.
The cutest snarf I've ever seen. Like, that's awesome. All right, and where can people find you?
You can find the Whiffopossum on Instagram, just Whiffopossum on Instagram, and occasionally on Squish Beans in Twitch as my my wife's channel that I guest star on a lot and do some GMing for Pathfinder. And yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Yay. All right. Randall, can we see all your gradient magic?
Yeah, let me try and fix this a little bit so it's easier to see. So there's the full thing. It'll be a thing eventually.
I love that pose, though. The pose is really great.
Thank you. I stole it from another action figure.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good at action poses, so I needed to find something to help me out. So yeah, there he is. Eventually, I will probably try and finish him and post it online for people to see.
Yay! Yeah, no, that's awesome. Like I just love how you're doing the coloring, which I know is super stressful because it's been giving you, heck all morning, but it looks so cool.
Thank you. Let's hope I can actually get it to work throughout the rest of him.
Yes. And I will bug you about it because I want people to see this. So
yeah,
like, have you done yet? Have you finished it?
Oh, I know. And it's going to be a challenge too, because there is a fan enhancement patch coming out today for Mega Man Star Force 1 with a bunch of improvements and stuff. And so I really want to play it. So it's going to be hard to play it, but then also do this. So maybe I'll take breaks and do both, so I keep myself motivated.
Somewhat on track. Yeah. I feel that. All right. So then let me to here. All right. So I can bring mine up so you can see and move my face. So I got a decent ways through my little sticker sheet for Rainbow Bright. I don't know. I've still got your banner up. Yeah. Again, I was like, why not draw a full body horse plus a horse head plus a full character and another full character? Because I've got time.
And rainbows and stars.
And rainbows and stars. Yeah. But it was fun. It was fun. I had fun. So yeah, if you want to see more of me across the internet, I am at A Swan Named Emily all over the place. If you want to hang out with me on Friday afternoons, that's my own personal art stream where I just do some art. Apologies because I did not stream yesterday, but I knew it would be here today, so that's okay. Yeah, usually working on commissions or other fun art, or sometimes making stickers. If you want to see me talk to other people, head over to twitch.tv/inaddpod on every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's where we do the live recording of the podcast in addition with me and 3 other friends. Also check out I've got Sketching Shakespeare with one of the ladies who's on that podcast with me, Steph. We do that once every month on the third-ish Sunday on this channel as well. So yeah, lots of fun places to find me, and you can follow me on my socials. And like I said, if anybody ever wants to contact any of the artists about getting art or seeing art, yeah, follow us on the socials at Doodle Crew Draw, or head over to our link tree where you can find all of the humans there. But yeah, thank you again, Doodle Crew members, for hanging out and drawing. This morning went really fast. But yeah, I've gotten my very happy nostalgia bump. So now I'll be going in and also going and finding that 3 episode of Rainbow Bright, because now I want to watch it. But yeah, and thank you to everyone in chat who hung out with us. You guys are awesome. I appreciate that you share nostalgia with us. And yeah, if you want to come back, the next Doodle Crew will be on 6/6. So it'll be Sunday, June 6th is our next one. So you got a little bit of time. And as always, keep drawing, and we love you. So thanks. Bye.